Mount Pangrango is the main source of the Ciliwung River. From the spring of Telaga Warna, it seeps into Cisaat Lake. It's from this lake that the flow of the Ciliwung River begins, passing through the city of Bogor, then through Depok City until it reaches Jakarta. Jakarta, which is part of the Jabodetabek area, has become the place the Ciliwung River passes through and empties into. Jakarta also neighbours Banten province, which is where the Cisadane river flow empties. With 40% of its region under the sea surface, Jakarta is very vulnerable to inundation. The situation is worsened because of the lack of green open space due to rapid development of spatial land use. Data from 1994 to 2005 shows that the area has been dramatically developed. The Ciliwung River is 109.7 kilometres long and is the main river which divides the city of Jakarta. Insistent settlements along the river, combined with human bad behaviour, have caused the river to narrow, become polluted and shallow. These conditions have caused Jakarta to be prone to flooding. Data in 2007 showed that there were 46 inundated areas in Jakarta. Social and economic loss from floods in the city and surrounding regions is very high. The upstream and downstream areas of the Ciliwung River must be thoroughly reorganised. Based on the government regulation PP number 47, year 1997 of the National Spatial Plan, land use reforms for the watersheds of the river have been planned. They've been planned in accordance with functioning and capabilities. Specifically, the functioning of upstream protection, buffer functioning, cultural functioning, and protected beaches. These plans extend from the upstream areas in Bogor, West Java, to the downstream region in Jakarta. In the Ciliwung River's upstream area, rapid residential development has caused a reduction in water catchment areas. The situation is made even worse by the amount of rubbish in the river. This has resulted in the river narrowing and an excess of silt build-up. In order to restore the function of the river's upstream area, restructuring efforts have been undertaken. These include rehabilitating lakes, reforestation, construction of dam trenches, recharging of wells, and building dam catchment areas. Of course, these efforts will also have to be combined with regional government controls on development and settlement in the Ciliwung upstream area. In the downstream area, Ciliwung River divides the heart of Jakarta city across dense residential areas, business districts and trade centres. Structuring the downstream area is conducted through normalisation of the river, widening it, dredging the river bottom, constructing dikes and relocating settlements from the riverbanks. Normalisation of the river is expected to be done along Kalibata, MT Haryono, Kampung Melayu and Manggarai. In Kalibata and Bidaracina areas, a sharp bend of the river inhibits the flow of water. And this problem is exacerbated by the 15-metre difference in elevation of the riverbed. In these particular areas, Annual floods range from 1 to 3 metres. To overcome this, concrete enclosure of the river has been planned in both areas. To accommodate the relocation of settlements from along the riverbanks, there will be development of green open spaces, which will serve as water catchment areas and public space. Slum areas will be reduced and resettlement developed vertically in the shape of apartments. Normalisation efforts for the Ciliwung River along Kalibata, MT Haryono, Kampung Melayu and Manggarai areas are scheduled for completion in 2015. At the Manggarai floodgate, the Ciliwung River flow splits into two, most of which flows into the West Canal, which then empties into Muara Karang. The rest flows into the Old Ciliwung River, which then empties into Ancol and Sunda Kelapa. The West Canal, which is 17.5 kilometres long, was built by the Dutch colonial government in 1922. It was built to control flooding in the low-lying areas of Jakarta, protecting settlements, industrial estates and businesses. It was also built for water conservation, as a resource for refilling groundwater and used as a transportation route. The West Canal was designed to drain the Ciliwung River flow, as well as to be the flood control channel. To optimise the functioning of the West Canal, various efforts have been undertaken. Cliffs have been strengthened and inspection roads constructed. Green belts, functioning polder of Setia Budi and rehabilitation of floodgates have been completed. The improvements to the flood canal are expected to lower the water surface elevation and minimise flood discharge. If rainfalls are above average, say more than 500 millimetres, the huge waters can still be channelled into the sea without getting trapped in Jakarta and its surrounding areas. The restructuring of the Ciliwung Cisadane rivers from upstream to downstream is a series of sustainable development, which should be supported by all parties. To keep the rivers flowing, we have to make use of them. The rivers must be organised and maintained. The preservation of the Ciliwung Cisadane rivers is crucial. These rivers are an invaluable asset and can open up so many opportunities in the future for business activity, cultural enrichment and people's prosperity.